Assalamualaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be analyzing Get Out. Get Out is a 2017 independent horror movie directed, written, and produced by Jordan Peele. It tells the story of Chris, a young African American man who visits his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, where his simmering uneasiness about their reception of him eventually reaches a boiling point. We'll start with the narrative progression is a story element that refers to the development of the narrative, including the opening and closure of the sequence. This can be expressed simply as the opening.
You're jealous.
Not jealous.
I mean, you're jealous. It's Rod.
A series of events that build up.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Complications. Resulting events.
Help me.
The resolution and ending. Next is the comic relief is when comedy takes place in a story that's dramatic, tragic, or serious overall in order to lighten the mood or to cut the tension. In Get Out, the role of the comic relief is played by Ron, Chris's overly excitable best friend who becomes suspicious of the Armitage family.
Tell me this, okay? How can I get in trouble for patting down an old lady? It's standard procedure. Jerry just thinks an elderly bitch is elderly. She can't hijack no motherfucking plane. I mean, I told you not to go in that house.
Thank you, Akmal, for the introduction and the explanation. I'm pretty sure everyone's here understand what you just talked about. So, moving on to our next element from this movie, which is equilibrium and conflict play. So I know what you're thinking right now.
What is equilibrium? I don't understand.
Shut up. Relax. Let me explain. Alright? So, equilibrium is a state of intellectual or emotional balance, a state of balance between opposing forces or action that is either static, as in a body act on by force whose resultant is zero, or dynamic. Do you guys understand? No? Okay. So this movie has the element of equilibrium, where the first scene from this movie. The first scene in this movie showed Chris and his girlfriend's Rose life is beautiful, peaceful, and balanced, which is there's no problem, they had jobs, they kiss, and they make love. And that is balance, that is equilibrium. Everything is fine and balanced.
But
There is disequilibrium,
Disequilibrium.
where Chris met Rose's family, the Armitage. That's where the things goes wrong. That is almost kill Chris, where they want to transfer Chris' brain to another old man, which is I don't know why and doesn't make sense, but okay. And that is where the things became unbalanced and disequilibrium. So, you guys understand what is equilibrium? Okay, so moving on everybody to the next element, which is conflict play. So what is conflict play? Conflict play is about the challenges main character have to solve to achieve their goals. In this case, as we can see, when Chris and Rose is on their way to the Rose family house, or known as the Armitage Mansion, they had an accident with a deer, and then they had to call the cops to solve things. But Rose is the one who's driving the car. However, the white policeman asks for Chris' ID and license. But don't worry,
Being a good girlfriend at the moment.
Rose stopped the police and showing that she doesn't support racial profiling. Okay? But the fun fact is, Rose didn't stop the police because she doesn't support racial profiling. Rose actually stopped the police because she doesn't want the police to remember Chris' name if Chris gone missing. No. That is dangerous for her. Okay, next scene that is showed that the conflict is when the Armitage family want to take over Chris' brain, and obviously Chris doesn't want that because that's gonna kill him. Okay, Chris have to go away and run away. So to solve the conflict, Chris kill all the Armitage family. Everything is done. His friends take him home. Everything is good. So the conflict is settled. So I think you get what I mean, right? So that's all from me. Take it away.
Moving on to the next point, which are myth and flashback. So what is myth? Myth is referred to the society shared stories, usually involving gods or mythic heroes. However, in Get Out, a myth is not about the legendary folktales or such, but it is about a myth of racism against black community in the United States. As in the movie directed by Jordan Peele, the racism is clearly shown at the beginning of the story itself. For instance, in the United States, the black community, they are feared to wander around even if the place is safe, as the police would aggressively harass and detain them. And so does in the movie where, in this scene, Andrea is casually walking around and there is a car that follows him mysteriously. He feels unsafe and tries to run, but he was abducted by the unknown person. So this clearly shows the myth of racism against black community in the United States. Next is flashback. Flashback is an interjected scene that takes the narrative back in time from the current point of the story. In Get Out, there is flashback technique used in the movie. For instance, in the scene of Chris having a hypnotized session with Missy Armitage, Missy makes Chris to travel to his past when he was a kid. The intention of this was to break down the mentality or spirit of Chris to take over his mind, and eventually Chris is hypnotized.
Talking about hypnotization, I'm going to hypnotize you to click the like button and subscribe. Anyways, back to the topic at hand, I'm going to be reviewing the part of the archetypes of the characters in the movie, the mise-en-scène, and also the direct and indirect characterization. First, we are going to get into the archetypes. Archetypes are the types of characters that present throughout the movie. For example, we have the heroes, we have the villains, we have the allies that helps the heroes to kick the villain's ass. So the heroes in this particular movie is Chris himself. We can see that he is the main character and he is the one that is gonna drive the movie forward and all the way to the end. And we also have the villain of the movie, which is the Armitage family, which is the one who's trying to kidnap him and then do some thingamajig with his brain. And then we have the trickster, who is Rose herself. She's also the villain, but she plays the main part of being the trickster, trying to be Chris' girlfriend for once, and then halfway throughout the movie we can see that her character's roles change from being his girlfriend into being a psychopath. Next, we will be going into the mise-en-scène. If you do not know what a mise-en-scène is, it is the set of the shooting. It encompasses the setting, the lighting, and the costume that has been used to create the perfect scene. And in the mise-en-scène, we see that the main part of the mise-en-scène is the Armitage mansion houses, which then 80% of the shooting of the movie takes place. You also have the airport where Chris' best friend was working as a TSA officer. And we also have the backyard of the Armitage house where the bidding of Chris was about to take place. And then we're gonna be moving on to the direct and indirect characterization. What do we mean by direct and indirect? Direct is the type of things that the author use to convey the characters directly. For example, the author said Chris is a tough and strong guy, and we can see that throughout the movie. He's really in shape and he's at the peak of his youth. And now we're going to go into the indirect. The indirect means that the author did not say who he or she is. We can see that for ourselves throughout the movie. For example, the indirect for Chris is a very calm person. We can see this when the cops arrested them at the beginning of the movie. We can see he's calm and collected, did not charge towards the cops or anything, and he is much aware than a normal person did. This can be seen when the part where the Rose brother tried to hit him with a net thingy and he managed to dodge it before it hits him. It shows that his awareness level is beyond normal human capabilities.
Aesthetic, a set of principles underlining the work of a particular artist or artistic movement.
Jordan Peele makes his debut as a director with the movie Get Out. He wanted to make something that is relevant in today's time with a little bit additional of differences. He wanted to create something that is from a black man's point of view. From his point of view, he sees that white people are using black people for their advantages, such as athlete skills, genetic complex, and anything that makes a white man inferior to the black people. At the same time, he wants to show the reality of black people with the element of horror that you haven't seen it in a movie.
Auteur theory argues that a film is a reflection of the director's artistic vision.
This movie contains some of scariest, some really messed up thing that you probably haven't seen it yet, or some messed up thing that I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy it, but at the same time you kinda like wish you haven't seen it. Like this scene where Dean was drilling into a man's head so he can extract that brain so he can put inside Chris' body. Other things about this is that the scene where Chris is meeting the parents, and you can see from this shot that the camera is so far away from front house, and you can clearly see the message that he wanted to say, that he should like get out and run away, don't go near them, white people are crazy, and something like that, that just makes we the audience say like to Chris like, don't go in there, you know, they're crazy people.
Okay.
Get out! Yo! Yeah! Yo, chill, man. Get out! Chill! Yeah, chill, man! Chill! Get the fuck out of here!
Now for the visual part for this one is the scene where Chris is like drowning from a place called Sunken Place. It is in his mind that he is slowly drowning and he is losing control over his own physical body, and that is he visualize it, and so that we can see what he actually experiencing from that scene.
Synthetic analysis encompasses two perspectives, looking at the system on its own level and looking at it on the level of its constituent.
Now, in this movie there are two points of view. The black people's point of view and the non-black people's point of view. For the black people's point of view, you can see what they've been experiencing all this time. They're showing us their suffering. They've been used as a test subject for white people. Now on the other hand, from the non-black people's point of view, you can see that they're suffering, and we can't truly experience that kind of suffering because we're not black, and those things happen at them and not us. But what we can do is that we can listen to their problems and see that the message that the director is trying to is sending to us, so that we can make this world a better place. So that is the end of that. Make sure you guys see this film to get the whole experience. For me, it is very scary because I don't enjoy a lot of scary movies and horrifying movies, but I enjoy this one because like it is really something that is new. You haven't seen this kind of things in movie recently, and it is pretty messed up if you think about it. You should watch it though. It's a like 9 out of 10 for me. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button down there and comment what is your favorite scene of this movie. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any new content that we post, and make sure you hit that bell button so you won't miss any notification from it. Thank you so much for watching Boys Who Cry, and we see you next time.